All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Week 1 of the NFL. We're going through a bunch of games on today's slate, or Sunday's slate. We're recording this a couple days early, but we're going to do this pretty much every week, I believe. We're going to have a special video for Thursday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, and Monday Night Football. And then for the rest of the games, we'll try and go through just like this, just like we do with our NBA and MLB videos. We're going to go through each and every game. I'm going to give you my lean or leans on the games, but all of my final plays, so what I'm actually rolling with myself, if you do want to fade me, those will be in the pinned comments, so keep an eye on that. Before we do get into today's video, I want to shout out OddsJam. You guys gotta go try OddsJam. 7 days free with the link in the description, and if you use the promo code GUYBOSTON, GUYBOSTON, you can get 25% off your first month after that trial, guys. This thing has a bunch of tools, from comparing all of the lines to plus EV betting to having a daily fantasy sports like Prize Picks Optimizer, guys. It's a really, really cool platform with a ton of tools that help you and I both beat the book. So go check out OddsJam. I have a link in the description, and I'll also throw it in the pinned comment. And make sure to use that code GUYBOSTON when you do sign up to save that 25%. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 1. First, actually, you know what? Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We're grinding out so many damn videos as of late, and I cannot be more excited for this NFL season. So hit that like button if you're excited as well. In game number 1 here, we're looking at Atlanta taking on the Panthers here, and we might go through these kind of quick because we're doing the entire slate, obviously. So keep an eye on the pinned comment for any changes or anything like that. If we have any added player props, we'll be posting those most likely on Twitter at EvGuyBoston or on TikTok at EvPicks with a Z 3.0. So make sure to follow me over there as well for some short form content. But in terms of this game, I do like Atlanta minus the points here, minus 3.5. You can actually find this at minus 3 on some sports books, but you know, I don't have access to those. So minus 3.5, I'm okay with that. In terms of the total, looking at 39.5, we do see this at 40.5 over on BetMGM. So if you like the under, that is probably the space that you're going to look, the place that you're going to look. And I also like the under too. A lot of unproven things on these two teams. Super young. Atlanta is just that much more, and I mean like that much more experienced. Both the teams very young, but I think I trust Atlanta at home opening day to get the job done. Obviously, rookie quarterback on the side for the Panthers here. We don't necessarily know exactly what we're going to get. Obviously a talented player, but I'm going to wait and see what's coming from there prior to rolling with it. But Ritter and Bijan Robinson on the Atlanta side of things, those are two young guys that, you know, we're taking a flyer on here. Give me Atlanta minus 3.5, and then the under 39.5. Keep an eye on the pinned comment to see if that ultimately becomes a final play. Baltimore taking on Houston. Baltimore opened up right in the, or not opened up, but they were just this morning at 10, minus 10. They're now down to minus 9.5. And if you can get them at that spot, yes, it's a high number. Maybe you want to tease them to some degree, but they are so much better than this Houston team. That defense is still there. They obviously have the weapons on offense, and they seem relatively healthy, which does not always happen. So I am going to lean towards Baltimore minus the 10.5 points. The only thing I will say, it's a lot of points to be laying week number 1. So I doubt that becomes a final play. I'm much more likely to take the under 43.5 in this game. And you might find me taking a lot of unders throughout this video because I am kind of a believer in the offenses need a little time to mesh and that type of thing. So, you know, I might be leaning towards some under. So keep an eye on the pinned comment to see what we ultimately roll with here. But I do like Baltimore. I think they have more talent. J.K. Dobbins, I think, is going to have a really good year, and I don't really see Houston stopping him either. So from the quarterback to the running back to the tight end, maybe Odell makes some sort of a difference. I think this Baltimore team has a lot more talent. So give me them on the spread as a slight lean, but I really do like the under 43.5 because I don't think that Houston's necessarily going to come out there and score a bunch of points. They did kind of end the season scoring a decent amount, but prior to that, up until like what, week 10, 12 maybe, they were like the team that was scoring 10 to 16 points per game. I kind of see that kind of rolling in its way into week number 1 of this season as well. All right, Cleveland taking on Cincinnati. I think this is going to be a very good game. I think there's some value on taking Cleveland on the money line at plus 110 over on Caesars. You can get them at plus 2.5 as well, but I think I've seen a couple different sportsbooks starting to move in the opposite direction, making them favored by, 1.5, but for some plus money. So if that's the case, I'm still going to lean Cleveland, but it's a little confusing how much this is moving. We're recording this Friday night, so obviously some time before the games, but we're trying to schedule these games out with all the videos, or these videos out with all the videos that we're doing as of late. We've got to kind of get ahead of the curve. So right now, Cleveland +2 on most books, but I've seen a couple like FanDuel right now offering them at -1.5 for +120. There's some value there as well. So I like them getting the points. But if we're getting some plus money for Cleveland to win this game, I like it. I think that they have a little bit more simple of an offense, so they're going to be able to kind of go in there and just kind of control the game, especially at home. Do I think the Bengals will have a better season than them? Yeah, I would say that. But for game number 1, give me the more smash mouth team here in Cleveland. Total sitting at 47.5. I like the over in this one as well. We've seen these two teams, at least in the last 10 when they've played against one another here, hit 6 of their last 10 over, and 2 of those pushed. So I'll take the over. Even though I do think that Cleveland's going to really try and pound the rock, I still think a lot of points could be scored in this one. Next up, we have the Colts taking on Jacksonville. Jacksonville, I do think, is going to be a very good team this year, but laying 5 points is a little bit too much for me. So if this moves down to more like the 3.5 range by game time, which I think it may. I think that a lot of people are hammering the Colts as of late, so this line may move a little bit. If it does, I like Jacksonville, but I'm probably punting this game away. No pun intended. No punt intended. But I'm probably, sending this game away and just chalking it up if we have to stick at this -5 number. I really don't love that all that much. In terms of the total 46, I don't see much defense and some young talent on offense here. I do see that. So I do think that we can look at an over in this game. Just seeing like these two teams kind of feeling out what they have both offensively, and then also like kind of, the guys that they're going to rely on defense, I don't necessarily think are all that great for both sides. So even if Jacksonville has a better defense, I don't necessarily think that they're going to be one of those top 5 defenses this year, even though a lot of people are high on the defense. But I think that game number 1 here, I can see this one going up and over 46 ever so slightly. So don't get me wrong. I'm not really saying that this is going to be an absolute shootout, but I think that this line probably could be more or less right around that 48-49 range. All right, guys, before we continue on, allow me to shout out the Fade Me brand. I'm wearing a couple of the products right now. It is the brand that we've put a lot of time and effort into bringing to life. If you do want to support us and support what we're doing here, your support directly impacts the content. Everything we make, we're putting right back into the content, whether it's equipment or, producing better shows, all that type of thing, guys. We couldn't do this without your support, and buying some merch is one of the best ways you can do so. And a lot of cool stuff coming out for the NFL season. So make sure to check it out, fademe.store. Now back to the slate. Minnesota taking on Tampa Bay. This Tampa Bay team, a lot of the pieces are still the same, but no Tom Brady here. Baker Mayfield at the helm, taking on Minnesota, who has Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins, Alexander Mattison, hoping to fit into that Dalvin Cook role. We've seen him be productive in the past as well. Addison now, new receiver that they have. I do think Minnesota has more of a chance to produce in this game. Let me put it like that, because I think Godwin, Mike, these guys are all big names that I'm not sure how they're going to produce. They've had games and weeks when they just kind of take it off, especially Mike Evans, right? But I do see him, in his contract situation right now, kind of wanting to go out there and ball. So I'm actually going to look at the over 46 in this game, or actually 45.5, excuse me, as my main lean. Shout out to Tassos. This was one of his picks over on Head to Head. If you guys have not checked that out, it's on the channel. Me and him have 4 rounds against one another. May the best man win. Most units gets the win for the week. An NFL betting show. Make sure to go check that out, guys. But I'm going to roll with him and take the over here, 45.5. I just think that these defenses stink, and there are weapons on this offense. Say what you want about Kirk Cousins. He can at least give you a pretty good floor. So over 45.5, my main lean in this game. I like Minnesota more, but I do like the over more than I do anything else in this game. All right, New Orleans taking on Tennessee. If you guys want to know my lean or my play in this game, go check out Head to Head. This was one of my picks, just like I kind of revealed Tassos' pick, so sorry, man, but my pick is in the video there, Head to Head. I do have a final play on this game. I hate to, bounce you around and whatnot, but hey, that's business. If you want to know this, I got to leave a little bit of mystery. Go check out Head to Head, guys, the new show that we did, but I do take a spread pick in this game that I'm loving. Next up, we have Pittsburgh taking on San Francisco here. San Francisco has just absolutely rolled as of late, obviously almost getting to the Super Bowl. They close out the season really, really well, where Pittsburgh, a lot of people are super high on them. They finished the season hot. A lot of young guys on that team, quarterback, wide receiver, all of that. But I'm going to call BS. Slowly, I'm going to temper everyone's Pittsburgh, I guess, their expectations here. I want to see it before we do end up, rolling with it. So I'm going to go and lean towards the 49ers. Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, Brandon Allen, sort of the quarterbacks in question there. Obviously, Brock Purdy. Wow, is that not an omen? Brock Purdy played well when he came in last year, ends up getting hurt again, but they kind of roll with him, right? They lose Jimmy G. They stay with Brock Purdy. They trust him, and I think that obviously they just have a lot of cemented pieces around him. So give me them. But yeah, I like the fact that even if Purdy doesn't work out, they do have some younger quarterbacks there. Sam Darnold probably isn't going to amount to anything, but was once a high pick, right? But nonetheless, 49ers, it's really not the quarterback I'm betting on. It's pretty much the rest of the team. They have a lot of offensive weapons, and we know that defense is going to be pretty good too, and I'm kind of just selling that Pittsburgh hype. If Pittsburgh shocks the world, then I'll take back my BS and I'm sorry, right? But right now I'm calling BS on how good they're going to be, that everyone is saying. In terms of a total 41.5, I guess I slightly like the over. The only thing I'll say here is that these are two such fundamental under teams. In football, you can definitely look at historicals. A lot of times, people would kind of advise against looking at trends and, and this and that. It's like, okay, that's fair. But football, a lot of the times when teams, especially in divisions, and they see each other a decent amount, not necessarily these two teams, but, they play each other and it's like, oh, wow, they do the same things. Patriots and Jets, perfect example, right? Patriots, when they were good and the Jets stunk every time they played, still played hard. We know that San Francisco and Pittsburgh are both historically gritty, hard-nosed teams. So I'm going to lean slightly towards the under 41.5 in this spot. I don't even really want to talk about this game. Washington is the better team. I don't really buy into them all that much, but Arizona is just a walking womp for sure, guys. They're probably going to go out there and shock the world and win, but they look like they're already tanking. Hell, after their season last year, in the immediate offseason, it looked like they were tanking, for Christ's sake. So I'll take the Washington, I almost said their old name here, the Washington Commanders, minus the points. Don't love that. What I do like is the under 38.5 in this spot. I actually took an alternate under in the head-to-head show, so another shout out to that. That thing's getting some publicity in this picks video today. All right, now we move into the 4 o'clock or afternoon slate of games. 4:25 start for this one. Chicago taking on Green Bay. Kind of a questionable one. Obviously, this Green Bay team looking a hell of a lot different, but you're getting points. They're underdogs. I still kind of trust the coaching there. I'm going to take Green Bay on the money line at plus 105. Do I love it? I can't tell you that. I can't lie to you and say that I love it. Losing Aaron Rodgers got to be like this whole, getting the wind knocked out of you. But I don't necessarily also, just like people are really, really high on Pittsburgh and Pickett, and I look at Justin Fields and I'm like, just show me how good you are before, everyone just says you're good. I want to see it for myself. We've seen him be plenty good. Do not get me wrong, but I just want to see him actually look really, really good. They didn't have a great season last year, obviously. So I'm going to go towards Green Bay on the money line, a team that has been just seemingly better than Chicago, obviously with Aaron Rodgers, but they've won 9 of the last 10 against the Chicago divisional rival here. In terms of a total, looking at 41.5. I know the graphic is 42, 41.5 over on FanDuel right now. I like the over there. I don't see much defense being played in this game, so it's going to be a matter of, can these young quarterbacks put up points? We shall see, but I do like the over. I think that is a lowish number at 41.5. All right, Denver taking on Jimmy G and his new team, the Raiders here. Denver is favored in this one, 3.5 points. If we could have got this at 2.5 or something like that, I think I'd like Denver, so maybe it's worth buying a point, but for whatever reason, I do think that Russ is going to have a little bit bounce back of a year. He can't be much worse than he was last year, right? And Jimmy Garoppolo, though there's weapons around him and everything like that, this guy is just such a middle-of-the-road guy that, I don't think he's going to go out there and light up the Denver defense here on week number 1. So, though that defense let up plenty of points last year, let's hope that they can kind of control Jimmy Garoppolo in this spot. And I almost said Russell Westbrook. Yeah, he's playing quarterback. Russell Wilson can go out there and just do better than he did last year. A terrible sort of debut for him, and he really proved a lot of haters correct. I think that he has a little bit more of a progressive type of a season this season here. Total sitting at 43.5 right now. A little bit too high for me. If you were to tell me this was, one of the 39 spots like we had in that crappy game we talked about, Arizona and Washington, I might look at the over, but I could see, 39, 40, 41 points scored in this one, so I'm going to lean slightly towards the under. All right, the Chargers taking on Miami, and I must say the value has got to be on Miami here. Hopefully they're coming into this fairly healthy. The Chargers, yes, they have a lot of weapons here, but this Miami team, let's not forget how good they were at one point last year and to close out the year prior as well. So give me Miami here plus the points, +3. I also don't hate them on the money line. I just think that that's coming from a value perspective. I don't really love the Chargers at -160. That isn't all that much of interest to me, so I'll take Miami here. And then in terms of the total, 52.5, I think this one is going to be a slight shootout. So though that's a high number, 52.5, I'm going to lean towards the over. You get plus money too over on FanDuel for that. If you want to take it at 41, sure, you're paying right around -125. I'll take the extra 1.5 here for some plus money. Oh boy, and now we move on to the hometown team. Obviously, well, if you don't know, I am a Patriots fan. They're playing the Eagles, Super Bowl runners-up last year, and this Eagles team, this line was at like 6.5. I might have that somewhat wrong, but the line totally has been moving, and now it's all the way down to 3.5. I think I have to look at the Eagles. That pains me. I don't know if I pull the trigger on it, being a biased Patriots fan, but this Eagles team has everything that they need. I really don't see the Patriots, maybe they shock the world, but I don't think that this Patriots team is as good with the receivers and all that, and Mac Jones making the steps up as this Eagles team. So 3.5 points does not seem like all that much. I'm going to go ahead and roll with the Eagles, sadly. And then in terms of the total, I like the under in this spot. Yes, the Eagles have a high-powered offense, but if anything that we can say about the Patriots, regardless of how old he gets or anything like that, Bill Belichick is going to scheme this game, and I like the idea of him being able to take down or at least sort of hinder the Eagles' offense that was so successful last season. All right, and then the last game of the video, if you are still watching, make sure to comment number 16. Let me know that you're sticking around. Obviously, we're still feeling it out. The graphics will change and everything like that as we work through the NFL season, but hopefully you guys do enjoy this. We're kind of running through it fairly quickly, 1 to 2 minutes per game, and then we'll obviously give our final plays like we do with the MLB and NBA in the pinned comment. But let me know if you guys do like the format of the video, or if you're fine with just a Thursday, Monday, and Sunday night videos. You don't even care about the middle slates, because that's one video less for me to do, but I love doing this stuff, guys. You guys have made it worth it. But yeah, comment 16, and then also let me know what you think of the format here. We have Seattle taking on the Rams in this spot. The Rams getting points here, and I think that the Rams actually do have some value on the money line as well. As weird as it might sound, but I'm not buying all of this Seattle stock necessarily. So I'll take the Rams on the money line slightly, but also I'll gladly take +3.5 for plus money. That's an alternate line here. So 3.5, cover that field goal for +106 over on DraftKings. All Rams here. If I did want to get, frisky and take them on the money line, like I said, +185 right now. So that could be a potential final play just to take that first game of the year type flyer. But yeah, guys, it's going to wrap it up for today. Oh, the total in this one, under 46.5 is going to be my lean. That's going to wrap it up for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And yeah, I mean, we've recorded so many videos and it's only Friday, but that's what it takes in this industry and world. We're going to keep grinding and keep doing our things. Hope you guys do appreciate that. Hope you guys do enjoy. We'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.